Hey folks, this is part 2 of my review of the soil maps. Again, it's an excellent resource for anyone who's going out in the wilderness, anyone who's building a house, anyone who's doing anything with land. This is like an owner's manual to your land. That's part 2. Now, I was talking about average slopes and terrain and soils. Soil map, again guys, I recommend you go and get one of these. There's actually a website, you might even be able to download it. The last time when I got these, they were free. I had a friend tell me since I made that comment that they're no longer free if you get the hard copy book. Definitely worth the investment though. I don't think they're very much. It's like a token amount, just enough to cover the paper. And with the taxes we pay, they should be free, but they're not. Going back to the guides. The map just shows you what you're looking at. So here we have a picture of Summersville Lake, which is one of our local lakes. And we're looking at the little symbols. We'll try and get this closer to the camera because I don't think I got a very good shot of it in the last video. There we go. You can see these little lines right here. These are not topographical lines. These are soil type lines. And instead of measuring every 5 feet or every so many feet on the soil, they give that a name and they tell you what the average slope is. And you're going to want to know that as a general rule, what slope is. But, oh, and 2, it contains just a regular road map. Here's a map of Nicholas County where I live. They're divided up by counties. There's 55 counties in the state of West Virginia. This section right here is telling you engineering data, which not only contains slope, but it's going to give you a description of the soil. It's going to give you the texture, whether it's silt loam, whether it's sandy, whether it's clay, what the mix is. There's a lot of data in here, and there's a lot of guys that know more about this than I do. Soil map is basically it's going to give you an idea of how stable the soil is too, which is something else you want to consider if you're traveling. If you're planning on taking an old Jeep trail up through the mountains as your alternate route, you might have the vehicle to do it in, but if you get up in there and the soil is loose and the road is not maintained and it's either washed out or worse yet comes from out from underneath, use the truck. Or if it washes out from underneath you and doesn't hold you, then you're running a lot of cold today, then it's going to make your travels harder. So you want to go through this and look and see what kind of soil you're going to be traveling on, as far as how stable it is. Soil map tells you that. Soil map also tells you basic climatological data. If you're planning on maybe you live in the city and you're going to get out of the city for this situation. Maybe you're thinking about purchasing a hunting camp somewhere, a retreat. This is where you can build a permanent shelter and have it stocked. This is the kind of data you're going to need, especially unless you're going to hire a contractor to build it. And even then, you're going to want to know what he's actually working with. But that's the soil map. Guys, I know this has been just like a whirlwind tour. There's a lot of information here that you guys would want to look up for yourself. There's a lot of information here, and it is complex, but it doesn't take rocket science. doesn't take a college degree. This thing was written for farmers. So there's a lot of plain English in here. Now, your average farmer is going to know. He's going to know what some of these terms mean, just because that's how he makes his living, or how he plans on making his living. There's also definitions. It's well written. It's going to give you a little bit of history about the area where it is. It is sorted by county, so if you're like I am, my drive to work crosses 3 counties. 4 if I take one of the alternate routes. So I'm going to want to know a little bit about the area in that. If I break down on one of the highways, I don't want to know just what direction I'm going or what direction I need to go. I'm going to want to know what I'm going to encounter along there. The maps, just like your topo map that you're used to working with, it's going to give you little dots for structures. If it's a church, it'll have a little cross on it, or a little steeple. It's going to tell you where graveyards are. It's going to tell you if you're crossing marshland. It's going to tell you if you're crossing solid terrain, gravel. Around here we have a lot of old strip mines, and reclaimed strip mine is actually, the soil is compacted to state road standards, and it is safe to drive on. It's not much good for reforestation, but it is safe to drive on. So that's the soil map. Each soil is listed by name, like I said earlier. Sorted by symbols, and you've got engineering data, you've got terrain data, you've got the main point that I wanted to make is it's going to give you an idea of what kind of nutrients are in that soil, and you can use that in combination with these books here to give you an idea of what your resources and liabilities are going to be. And that's the main thing. Anytime you're traveling, if you're hiking through the Appalachian Trail, you're not going to want to carry a stack of books like this with you, but it's going to give you a good idea to look up the terrain, maybe put together a streamlined map. We actually used these in my forestry class. We had to plan firefighting routes and hiking trails, and this is what we used. We had plans to build a trail all the way around Summersville Lake. Some of the lands we would have had to build bridges. Some of it we would have had to do this, would have had to do that. And you really didn't know what you was getting into unless you either looked at the soil map or you got up in there. We made part of the trip without the map, part of the trip with it. That was my instructor's idea, so he could show us the difference and show us the value of doing it research ahead of time. And I really can't think of anything else. You guys are welcome to leave questions in the comments or respond to a video. And certainly, if you're somebody who knows a little bit about these soil maps, chime in. I think they're just an excellent research. They basically have them for every county in the United States. It comes from the United States Department of Agriculture, Soil Conservation Service office. It's going to be available. Usually we were told to go to your county seat, go to your Department of Agriculture. They have them there. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a blessed day.